10 ways excess kindness will quickly ruin your life. A Stoic guide to boundaries, self-respect, and strategic compassion. If you're always available, you're not valued, you're expected. And when kindness turns into currency, you'll pay for it with your dignity. Kindness is a virtue until it becomes your vice. In a world desperately in need of decency, empathy, and compassion, being kind is often seen as a moral high ground, and rightly so. Stoicism itself teaches benevolence, justice, and rational goodwill toward others. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor-philosopher, frequently reminded himself to treat others fairly, even those who wronged him. Seneca spoke of kindness as a noble currency of the wise, but even the Stoics drew boundaries. Even the Stoics understood that excessive kindness, when unguarded and unchecked, can quickly devolve into self-betrayal, exploitation, and spiritual decay. Kindness, like fire, is useful when contained, but let it run rampant, and it will burn through your self-worth, your time, and your peace of mind. Today's culture, plagued by people-pleasing, virtue signaling, and unearned guilt, has distorted kindness into servitude. We confuse passivity for empathy, agreeableness for integrity, and compliance for love, and we suffer for it, deeply, silently, chronically. In this Stoic guide, we will explore 10 brutal ways excessive kindness ruins your life and how to reclaim your boundaries with wisdom, strength, and moral clarity. This is not a call to be cold, bitter, or ruthless. This is a call to protect your warmth from being weaponized. 1. You teach people to expect you, not respect you. Don't waste what remains of your life in speculating about your neighbors. Be concerned with your own rational nature. Marcus Aurelius. Kindness without limits quickly becomes an unspoken contract. I will tolerate more than I should so you'll like me. But this social transaction rarely earns respect. It breeds entitlement. People begin to expect your time, your energy, your emotional labor. Not because they value it, but because you've given it so freely they assume it comes without cost. And once kindness becomes predictable, it loses its impact. Stoicism urges us to maintain our reasoned choice, our capacity to say no when the situation demands it. If you constantly say yes in fear of disappointing others, you are no longer acting with virtue. You're reacting from fear. Excessive kindness doesn't make you more lovable. It makes you more usable. 2. You betray yourself in the name of harmony. If you don't want to be a doormat, stop lying down. Epictetus. When you consistently put others before yourself, regardless of how it impacts your mental health, schedule, or principles, you are self-abandoning. And Stoicism considers this a grave sin, not against others, but against yourself. The Stoics taught that virtue begins with integrity. If you smile when you mean no, or agree when you feel violated, you fragment your own soul. You tell your nervous system, my comfort is negotiable, my boundaries are flexible, my truth is disposable. True kindness is not compliance. True kindness is clear, respectful, and limited by self-respect. Being too nice to keep the peace often results in internal war, and one day that unspoken resentment will erupt. 3. You attract predators, not partners. A wolf will not attack another wolf that bares its teeth. It preys on the sheep who cowers. Kindness, when offered without discernment, makes you a magnet for emotional manipulators, narcissists, and opportunists. These people don't seek genuine connection. They seek unguarded access. They exploit your silence. They test your limits. And when you don't push back, they learn they don't have to. Stoicism demands that we observe the nature of people, not judge them, but know them. Epictetus reminds us that some people will act unjustly. Your job is to recognize the signs and respond with calm distance, not blind forgiveness. You cannot be kind to everyone and expect safety. Some people interpret kindness not as virtue, but as permission. 4. You deplete your energy for those who won't reciprocate. It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste much of it. Seneca. Time is your most precious Stoic resource. When you give your energy away indiscriminately, to friends who never show up, to coworkers who drain you, to people who text only when they need something, you violate your own value. The Stoic prioritizes useful action, not emotional obligation. You cannot be kind to others if you're exhausted, resentful, and stretched thin. Giving endlessly is not generosity, it's unsustainable self-erasure. Seneca cautioned us against wasting ourselves on the unworthy. Don't offer your sacred energy to those who refuse to meet you with gratitude, honesty, or mutual effort. Your kindness should flow from abundance, not depletion. 5. You avoid conflict and stay trapped in fake peace. Better to be disliked for speaking truth than liked for lying. Excessive kindness often comes from a fear of conflict. You don't want to be perceived as difficult. You don't want to rock the boat. So you say nothing. You tolerate bad behavior. You minimize how you feel. You shrink yourself to maintain a surface-level harmony. But peace without truth is not peace. It's hostage negotiation. Stoicism trains us to speak truthfully, not emotionally, but with precision and calm authority. When you fail to speak your truth to keep things nice, you undermine yourself and reward the very behavior you despise. Kindness without confrontation is not virtue. It's avoidance dressed up as politeness. 6. You abandon justice by sparing accountability. What is not just is not right. Marcus Aurelius. Kindness, when excessive, often excuses injustice. You forgive too quickly. You give second, third, and 15th chances. You allow others to cross lines again and again, because everyone makes mistakes. But Stoicism is a philosophy of justice, not permissiveness. Seneca wrote that a wise person is slow to anger, but not blind to wrongs. Forgiveness must be earned. Accountability must be enforced. Compassion without correction enables harmful behavior. When your kindness causes you to abandon what is right for the sake of comfort, you betray Stoic justice. Holding others accountable is not cruelty, it's respect. For them and for yourself. 7. You lose your identity in pleasing others. Be indifferent to what makes no difference. Marcus Aurelius. When you live to be liked, you slowly forget who you are. You take on opinions that aren't yours. You say yes to requests you resent. You avoid speaking up, dressing how you want, or expressing yourself for fear of judgment. In doing so, you become a mirror, reflecting others back at them, but nothing of substance within. Stoicism reminds us to return to reasoned choice, to live according to nature, your nature. That means acting from principles, not popularity, from wisdom, not approval. Kindness that comes from fear of rejection is not moral, it's a mask. And one day, when no one's around, you'll look in the mirror and wonder, who am I underneath all this pleasing? 8. You enable weakness in others. Don't do for others what they must do for themselves. Sometimes your kindness isn't helping, it's hindering. When you jump in to rescue, fix, or solve someone else's problems every time, you rob them of the strength to face their own life. Kindness, when overused, creates dependency. It stunts growth. It tells people, you don't have to try. I'll always catch you. The Stoic helps others when it aligns with virtue, but never at the expense of truth. Sometimes the kindest act is not stepping in. Sometimes it's stepping back. Helping is noble. Enabling is cowardice disguised as compassion. 9. You internalize others' problems as your responsibility. Each person's task is to deal with their own impressions. Epictetus. Excessively kind people often take on other people's pain like it's their own. They feel responsible for everyone's moods, feelings, and life outcomes. But Stoicism draws a sharp line between what is ours and what is not. Your emotions? Yours. Their reactions? Theirs. Your duty is to act justly, not to carry the weight of everyone else's suffering. When you try to absorb the world's pain, you drown in it, and you become less effective, not more noble. You are not responsible for saving everyone. You are responsible for being someone worth saving. 10. You forget that true kindness includes saying no. No man is free who is not master of himself. Epictetus. Real kindness is not about saying yes to everyone. It's about saying yes to the right people, the right causes, and the right moments. Stoicism teaches the strength of measured compassion. You're not here to be endlessly accommodating. You're here to live in accordance with reason and virtue. That sometimes requires you to say no to people you love, to requests that sound noble, and to invitations that flatter your ego. Saying no isn't rejection, it's redirection. It protects your time, energy, and peace. so you can give better when it does matter. Every no rooted in integrity is a deeper yes to yourself. Kindness with clause. Kindness is not weakness, but excessive compulsive kindness without boundaries or wisdom is. Stoicism doesn't teach coldness, it teaches clarity. It teaches us that virtue must be guided by reason, not guilt, by discipline, not desperation, by justice, not people-pleasing. To be truly kind is to be self-respecting. It is to give from strength, not insecurity. It is to set limits, speak truth, and walk away when needed, not with anger, but with unwavering calm. If you feel exhausted from being too nice, it's not your kindness that's the problem. It's the lack of containment. Reclaim your power. Speak truth with love. Set boundaries with grace. Let your kindness be firm, not flimsy. And remember, a Stoic does not exist to please everyone. A Stoic exists to embody virtue, and sometimes that means being kind with clause. If you found value in this video, hit that like button, subscribe for more Stoic content, and drop a comment with what hit hardest for you. Stay grounded. Until next time.